Okay, so Whirlwind damage, 8,000. Yeah, this isn't anything too impressive, but this is a double grief setup. Yeah, this is pretty high-end stuff here. This is just double grief now. Interesting that double grief is doing so well. Pretty high HP. Let's see, how much defense do I have? That's pretty decent as well. Mephisto drops Steel Pillar. Not particularly, no. Mephisto cannot drop Steel Pillar. No, Mephisto cannot normally drop Steel Pillar unless he's terrorized on D2R. Let's go. I gotta say, Dual Grief even looks pretty OP, honestly. This isn't a very expensive setup. This is just low runes here, pretty much, except for this. But, I mean, let's be honest, you know, max damage terms, but let's be honest, it's not, you don't need that. I could take this off here. See, I'm always convinced that particular setup. Yeah, I mean, I got plenty of damage, it seems. Yeah. I can tell that damage, I lost a little bit of damage from that, but it's nothing significant. I could use the halberds. Hey, I'm just using different things right now. Could use the halberds just fine. I mean, I got an FAR without it, but I could use the halberds. There's all kinds of weapons. You know, honestly, a lot of this stuff doesn't matter as much as you might think, but you know, some of this stuff is kind of interesting. Alright, so Double Grief is looking very, very strong. Just don't see that being very weak, as you might assume that it is. It's pretty strong stuff. Okay. Alrighty, let's go. Inferno? Was Inferno patched yet? Let me actually check here. I actually don't know. Was Inferno patched? Well, see, that's the thing is, oh, you just tested it? Okay. Inferno scaling has been reworked. Arctic Blast scaling has been reworked. Okay, so yeah, that's stuff to look at for sure. Yeah, I think everything has been patched now. I think all of the skill changes that they've wanted to do preliminarily have gone through. Okay. Well, double Stone Crusher is just nuts. Yeah. Yeah, Whirlwind's looking comparatively very strong. The range is meh, yeah, it's tearing up the whole screen. You are right about that, you know, it's not hitting that. Still insanely strong though. The thing is that it has both mobility and damage, which gives it a large advantage over a lot of skills. So you can kind of see that here. Gotcha. Well, Infernos should be very strong, I guess, if you think about it, because don't you have to stand perfectly still to cast it? You think it's too strong, or, you know... I know too strong is a qualifier. Do you think it's probably where it should be? Whirlwind is finally meta. Well, what's funny is Whirlwind's always been meta, it's just people always played Throw because Throw is fucking, you know... You literally can't beat Throw, you know? That was the issue. Amp. Bro, Reapers is so ridiculous. Holy shit. Yeah, dude, this is nuts, man. Oh, Reapers is crazy, dude. Yeah. I mean, this makes sense, though. Yeah, this is where it's at for sure. But it's the same thing with Blade Fury too. I guess you really can't go wrong with the GG Reapers at all. The other thing is Decrepify doesn't really hurt Whirlwind all that much. Just doesn't. No. Seems OP. Definitely is, for sure. Yeah. I think what makes Whirlwind really strong, be able to proc Amp very reliably. We're getting negative physical res, so it pretty much needs negative physical res. Oh, that's why we're doing it. Trying to see what those greatest pleasures are in life, man. Right. Well, I mean, you know. Trying to see what those greatest pleasures are in life. Oh wait, you don't need a Zod in this. Whatever. I forgot. Oh well. I mean, that's what it's doing. It's fucking, look at this. Actually, I'd almost rather have Steel Pillar. Alright, so hear me out. Steel Pillar has better minimum damage. Let me see this too. True. Steel Pillar is insane for solo though. Yeah, this is really crazy fast capabilities here. Yeah. And this shit fucks, man. Oh no, I didn't even spec in the Polar Mastery. Wow, this is without Polar Mastery. Oh shit. He's right. This is that's without Polar Mastery. I'd have to reset that. Wow. It's pretty strong, right? I mean, if that's without Polar Mastery. Oh man. I mean, then again, it's 6-socketed. Then again, non-eth is pretty close to eth these days, so I mean, testing eths isn't quite as controversial as it once was, because it's almost the same thing as to what non-eth can do under any conditions whatsoever. Right? You know, it's testing it. It was controversial at one point. Now it's not. It's like, just another extension, you know? It's not bad. It's not bad. See, look, we got... I don't know, man. This is crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. Yeah, whatever. I'll use Frenzy to get around. Oh wow, 31,000. Okay, yeah, that's a pretty big difference actually. Oh dear. So you can still wear Atmas too. That's the crazy part. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, this is crazy, crazy powerful. All right, I'm revising my estimate of this skill to solid S. I don't think, this is your least favorite amulet in the game. You know, I could actually use this, too. I can go... That doesn't actually seem to help very much, though. Yeah. Atmos is amazing with lots of gold. This is kind of nuts, actually. Okay. Well, interesting to say the least. Okay, so... You know, I almost have to wonder, how does this perform if you fortify one of these maps? Right? So you gotta think to yourself. Oh yeah, it's a lot stronger. It's got a negative enemy Phys res and shit. Yeah, 0 resistance, man. Wow. Like a hot knife through butter. That's a good way to describe it, honestly. I mean, yeah, that's probably the best description I've ever heard, honestly. This one needs to be fixed too, actually. It's got messed up statistics on it. This one actually does need a Zod rune, unlike the other one. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. Ugh. Okay. This item's a lot more common anyway. Is it working? Yes, no, yes, no. I think the hardest part about this build is stopping to pick shit up. Yeah, it's so ridiculous. It's so strong, dude. It's so strong. That's such a strong ability. Oh no, what happened, Corcoran? What happened, dude? Yeah, this is I want to test a fortified map here. Let's see. We can test it with a couple of different gavels here. Let's see. I'm gonna test. Let me go put these away real quick. Ideally, we actually want to test with this thing, which is now a defunct weapon, but attack speed luckily doesn't matter on this particular item for this. He actually modified it slightly. It's supposed to have 30 more attack speed, but it's okay. Doesn't affect that whatsoever. I honestly think F Cranium Basher is probably the most extreme of all these items, but sure. Fortified should be worse.
What are your needs?
You can argue that, yeah. I'm a little curious, honestly, you know. I think, more than a little curious. I kind of want to see. So if you fortify the map. Yeah, you know, I think if anything says how powerful this build is this right here. Like, other builds be struggling to kill these monsters in a lot of cases. if he got you, that's not why you died, though. Because you could have just used juves, unless you ran out of juves, so... Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What was your first torch, at least? Did you use T-Gods? I think the key is making sure you have enough light and resonance with this, so... Wow, look at this. This is amazing for a fortified performance. Wow. Yeah. This is a fortified map right here, gentlemen. Crush. Viable? Is this what you call viable? I mean, sure. Your definition of viable is one of the strongest builds in the game, sure. Jesus. It's the upper limit, man. You know what's crazy to me is, look at this. Yeah, look at that. Look at that power. Fortified maps actually make you want to use this standard triangle technique again. Like short whirlwinds. Yeah. That's okay though. Yeah, you should have a life tap wand. But even if you lose a lot of health, you should just use some juice and get out if you're not doing that. I don't know what happened. I don't know how he killed you. Unless he ran out of juice. Which I'm assuming maybe possibly happened there. Maybe possibly sort of kind of happened. Maybe possibly sort of kind of. Yeah, this is definitely one of the stronger abilities in the game. No doubt about it. As long as you get good weapons. Once you get pretty good weapons, it's all bets are off. I mean, I used Griefs earlier, which are weaker weapons, and they were still doing very well. I used Double Grief, and Double Grief is not known to be one of the stronger approaches. It's actually one of the weakest approaches. Even with the buffs to Grief. And it was still looking extremely strong. That was the first thing I tested today. Yeah, it's a very strong ability. Slim's TV. Thank you so much for launching a Xana attack on the stream. Chat spam Xana in the chat if you can for him. Wow. I don't know. Don't know how this happened. Don't know how it happened at all. Unbelievable. Cranium Basher. Dun, dun. Yeah, I don't know. Just all the damage stats, really. I don't really care about where everything else is. Hey, thank you, man. Yeah, it is still a raid, man. How was your stream? Doesn't matter, you know? As long as you're having a good time, man. What's up, dude? That's what matters the most. I can tell you that 100%. $34K Whirlwind, yeah, so this is... Yeah, this is a fortified map getting absolutely decimated. Wow. Double health. This is a 100% health increase map, essentially. Wow. Oh, sick. That's awesome, man. I got a 99 Stork and a 92, but you've probably seen that, though. Make sure you have stacked lightning res, though. You gotta make sure you have lightning res when Mephisto's convictions on you. That's probably what kill you. You might have gotten lucky the first time and he didn't actually hit you with a high roll on that. Gotta be very careful. Even if you had T-Gods, you might have not had enough light res. Oh, sweet. That's a pretty awesome character. Sounds like you did pretty solid on my own. Yeah, this is insane. Of course, you know, it is an Eth Cranium Basher, but still. There are ways to get those, special... Okay. Yeah, I don't even know. Alright, so what we've learned here is Whirlwind is fucking crazy. Whirlwind can decimate a fortified map as long as you have a good enough weapon. With weaker weapons, it still does just fine in a tier 3, clocking most monsters in one shot, even with double grief. It's pretty freaking strong. Last season I kind of debated whether or not to put it S- or S tentatively. I'm leaning towards S now because, you know, some of these S builds are kind of dropping out of the S tier. And I'm thinking it's finally reigning supreme as like one of the strongest builds. I think that's a fair assessment now. I wouldn't say it's like S+, you know, we're not talking about bonkers broken here, but it's pretty freaking broken. That's some crazy power with very little effort, honestly, once you start whirling. Doesn't even look difficult to execute, doesn't look like you need a lot of defensive power for it to work most of the time. Matter of fact, I use an Nosferatu's coil here instead of Dungo's, which is typically not advisable. I thought I might have to put on some more DR because I'd start dying and shit, but the reality is that doesn't even happen, so... Yeah, it's crazy clear speed, crazy clean, crazy powerful, crazy sustain. It's definitely one of the strongest builds in Project Diablo 2 at the moment. It's among the very best. Better or for worse. You leech your whole health pool every 5 frames. Yeah, it's a pretty insane ability overall. I mean, I don't really take tankiness too much into account typically when I make these assessments. It's mostly just clear speed. But the clear speed's already like S minus tier. It's already teetering, and I think what really swings the balance for me is just how crazy consistent this build is with very little defensive power required, even, you know, to make it consistent in more scenarios.